Rainforest.
Rainforests are forests characterized by high rainfall, with annual rainfall between 250 centimetres to 450 centimetres. The monsoon trough, alternatively known as the intertropical convergence zone, plays a significant role in creating the climatic conditions necessary for the Earth's tropical rainforests. Around 40% to 75% of all biotic species are indigenous to the rainforests. It has been estimated that there may be many millions of species of plants, insects and microorganisms still undiscovered in tropical rainforests. Tropical rainforests have been called the jewels of the earth, and the world's largest pharmacy, because over 1/4 of natural medicines have been discovered there. Rainforests are also responsible for 28% of the world's oxygen turnover, sometimes misnamed oxygen production, processing it through photosynthesis from carbon dioxide and consuming it through respiration. The undergrowth in some areas of a rainforest can be restricted by poor penetration of sunlight to ground level. If the leaf canopy is destroyed or thinned, the ground beneath is soon colonized by a dense, tangled growth of vines, shrubs and small trees, called a jungle. There are two types of rainforest, tropical rainforest and temperate rainforest.
Tropical.
Tropical rainforests are characterized by a warm and wet climate. Mean monthly temperatures exceed 18 degc, 64 degf, during all months of the year. Average annual rainfall is no less than 168 centimeters, 66 in, and can exceed 1,000 centimeters, 390 in, although it typically lies between 175 centimeters, 69 in, and 200 centimeters, 79 in. Many of the world's rainforests are associated with the location of the monsoon trough, also known as the intertropical convergence zone. Tropical rainforests are located in the tropics, that is, in the equatorial zone between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Tropical rainforests exist in Southeast Asia, from Myanmar, Burma, to the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea and northeastern Australia, Sri Lanka, sub-Saharan Africa from Cameroon to the Congo, Congo rainforest, South America, for example the Amazon rainforest, Central America, for example Bozawas, southern Yucatan Peninsula El Petén Belize Calakmul, and on many of the Pacific Islands, such as Hawaii. Tropical rainforests have been called the Earth's lungs, although it is now known that rainforests contribute little net oxygen addition to the atmosphere through photosynthesis.
Temperate.
Tropical forests cover a large part of the globe, but temperate rainforests only occur in few regions around the world. Temperate rainforests are rainforests in temperate regions. They occur in North America, in the Pacific Northwest in Alaska, British Columbia, Washington, Oregon and California, in Europe, parts of the British Isles such as the coastal areas of Ireland and Scotland, southern Norway, parts of the Western Balkans along the Adriatic coast, as well as in Galicia and coastal areas of the eastern Black Sea, including Georgia and coastal Turkey, in East Asia, in southern China, Taiwan, much of Japan and Korea, and on Sakhalin Island and the adjacent Russian Far East coast, in South America, southern Chile, and also in Australia and New Zealand.
Layers.
A tropical rainforest is typically divided into 4 main layers, each with different plants and animals adapted for life in that particular area: the emergent, canopy, understory and forest floor layers.
Emergent layer.
The emergent layer contains a small number of very large trees called emergents, which grow above the general canopy, reaching heights of 45 to 55 m, although on occasion a few species will grow to 70 to 80 m tall. They need to be able to withstand the hot temperatures and strong winds that occur above the canopy in some areas. Eagles, butterflies, bats and certain monkeys inhabit this layer.
Canopy layer.
The canopy layer contains the majority of the largest trees, typically 30 meters, 98 feet, to 45 meters, 148 feet, tall. The densest areas of biodiversity are found in the forest canopy, a more or less continuous cover of foliage formed by adjacent treetops. The canopy, by some estimates, is home to 50% of all plant species. Epiphytic plants attach to trunks and branches, and obtain water and minerals from rain and debris that collects on the supporting plants. The fauna is similar to that found in the emergent layer, but more diverse. A quarter of all insect species are believed to exist in the rainforest canopy. Scientists have long suspected the richness of the canopy as a habitat, but have only recently developed practical methods of exploring it. As long ago as 1917, naturalist William Beebe declared that another continent of life remains to be discovered, not upon the Earth, but 100 to 200 feet above it, extending over thousands of square miles. True exploration of this habitat only began in the 1980s, when scientists developed methods to reach the canopy, such as firing ropes into the trees using crossbows. Exploration of the canopy is still in its infancy, but other methods include the use of balloons and airships to float above the highest branches and the building of cranes and walkways planted on the forest floor. The science of accessing tropical forest canopy using airships or similar aerial platforms is called dendronautics.
Understory layer.
The understory layer lies between the canopy and the forest floor. The understory is home to a number of birds, snakes and lizards, as well as predators such as jaguars, boa constrictors and leopards. The leaves are much larger at this level. Insect life is also abundant. Many seedlings that will grow to the canopy level are present in the understory. Only about 5% of the sunlight shining on the rainforest canopy reaches the understory. This layer can be called a shrub layer, although the shrub layer may also be considered a separate layer.
Forest floor.
Main article, Forest floor. The forest floor, the bottommost layer, receives only 2% of the sunlight. Only plants adapted to low light can grow in this region. Away from riverbanks, swamps and clearings, where dense undergrowth is found, the forest floor is relatively clear of vegetation because of the low sunlight penetration. It also contains decaying plant and animal matter, which disappears quickly, because the warm, humid conditions promote rapid decay. Many forms of fungi growing here help decay the animal and plant waste.
Flora and fauna.
More than half of the world's species of plants and animals are found in the rainforest. Rainforests support a very broad array of fauna, including mammals, reptiles, birds and invertebrates. Mammals may include primates, felids and other families. Reptiles include snakes, turtles, chameleons and other families. While birds include such families as Vangidae and Cuculidae. Dozens of families of invertebrates are found in rainforests. Fungi are also very common in rainforest areas as they can feed on the decomposing remains of plants and animals. Many rainforest species are rapidly disappearing due to deforestation, habitat loss and pollution of the atmosphere.
Soils.
Despite the growth of vegetation in a tropical rainforest, soil quality is often quite poor. Rapid bacterial decay prevents the accumulation of humus. The concentration of iron and aluminium oxides by the laterization process gives the oxysols a bright red color and sometimes produces mineral deposits such as bauxite. Most trees have roots near the surface, because there are insufficient nutrients below the surface. Most of the tree's minerals come from the top layer of decomposing leaves and animals. On younger substrates, especially of volcanic origin, tropical soils may be quite fertile. If rainforest trees are cleared, rain can accumulate on the exposed soil surfaces, creating runoff and beginning a process of soil erosion. Eventually streams and rivers form and flooding becomes possible.
Effect on global climate.
A natural rainforest emits and absorbs vast quantities of carbon dioxide. On a global scale, long-term fluxes are approximately in balance, so that an undisturbed rainforest would have a small net impact on atmospheric carbon dioxide levels, though they may have other climatic effects, on cloud formation, for example, by recycling water vapor. No rainforest today can be considered to be undisturbed. Human-induced deforestation plays a significant role in causing rainforests to release carbon dioxide, as do other factors, whether human-induced or natural, which result in tree death, such as burning and drought. Some climate models operating with interactive vegetation predict a large loss of Amazonian rainforest around 2050 due to drought, forest dieback and the subsequent release more carbon dioxide. 5 million years from now, the Amazon rainforest may long since have dried and transformed itself into savanna, killing itself in the progress. Changes such as this may happen even if all human deforestation activity ceases overnight. The descendants of unknown animals may adapt to the dry savanna of the former Amazonian rainforest and thrive in the new, warmer temperatures.
Human uses.
Tropical rainforests provide timber as well as animal products such as meat and hides. Rainforests also have value as tourism destinations and for the ecosystem services provided. Many foods originally came from tropical forests, and are still mostly grown on plantations in regions that were formerly primary forest. Also, plant-derived medicines are commonly used for fever, fungal infections, burns, gastrointestinal problems, pain, respiratory problems, and wound treatment.
Native peoples.
On January 18, 2007, FUNAI reported also that it had confirmed the presence of 67 different uncontacted tribes in Brazil, up from 40 in 2005. With this addition, Brazil has now overtaken the island of New Guinea as the country having the largest number of uncontacted tribes. The province of Irian-Jaya or West Papua in the island of New Guinea is home to an estimated 44 uncontacted tribal groups. The tribes are in danger because of the deforestation, especially in Brazil. Central African rainforest is home of the Mbuti pygmies, one of the hunter-gatherer peoples living in equatorial rainforests characterized by their short height, below 1.5 meters, or 59 inches, on average. They were the subject of a study by Colin Turnbull, The Forest People, in 1962. Pygmies who live in Southeast Asia are, amongst others, referred to as Negrito.
Deforestation.
Tropical and temperate rainforests have been subjected to heavy logging and agricultural clearance throughout the 20th century, and the area covered by rainforests around the world is shrinking. Biologists have estimated that large numbers of species are being driven to extinction, possibly more than 50,000 a year. At that rate, says E.O. Wilson of Harvard University, a quarter or more of all species on Earth could be exterminated within 50 years, due to the removal of habitat with destruction of the rainforests. Another factor causing the loss of rainforest is expanding urban areas. Littoral rainforest growing along coastal areas of eastern Australia is now rare due to urban development to accommodate the demand for sea change lifestyles. The forests are being destroyed at a rapid pace. Almost 90% of West Africa's rainforest has been destroyed. Since the arrival of humans 2,000 years ago, Madagascar has lost 2/3 of its original rainforest. At present rates, tropical rainforests in Indonesia would be logged out in 10 years and Papua New Guinea in 13 to 16 years. According to Rainforest Rescue, a main reason for the increasing deforestation rate especially in Indonesia is the expansion of oil palm plantations to meet the growing demand for cheap vegetable fats and biofuels. In Indonesia, palm oil is already cultivated on 9 million hectares and, together with Malaysia, the island nation produces about 85% of the world's palm oil. Several countries, notably Brazil, have declared their deforestation a national emergency. Amazon deforestation jumped by 69% in 2008 compared to 2007's 12 months, according to official government data. Deforestation could wipe out or severely damage nearly 60% of the Amazon rainforest by 2030, says a new report from WWF. However, a January 30, 2009 New York Times article stated, by one estimate, for every acre of rainforest cut down each year, more than 50 acres of new forest are growing in the tropics. The new forest includes secondary forest on former farmland and so-called degraded forest.